want to be honest here, and I want to ask a serious question. Have we ever felt, and I know the answer to this question, but have we ever felt hurt, sad, depressed, spirit of sadness come upon us when we feel like our time was wasted, an opportunity wasn't had that we wanted, or even feel like somebody sucked all the spark and or light or ideas out of you and used it for their own justification? I'm here to tell you that we've all faced those challenges, and believe you me, they are challenges. I call it a challenge just because it's a bump in the road that we have to somehow still go over. Even though it got in the way and inconvenienced us, we have to go over this bump and figure out how to keep going. Don't worry when there's bumps in the road. Sometimes God halts us, he halts us, or he stops us to help us get realigned. Sometimes we need that nudge, even though we may not want it. Sometimes we need that stumble that may be in our way, that blockage, so we can analyze it and figure out, why is it there? Why is this happening to me? God makes no mistakes. Everything happens for a reason. I'm going to use myself as an example. Applied for a certain position, an internal position at my job. Nailed the interviews. Nailed them. And you know you nailed something when you just feel confident after it's all said and done. I did the first interview, nailed it. Did the second interview with some really, really important people. Knocked it out of the water. I mean, knocked it out of the water. I felt good leaving that second interview and the first, but I felt even better doing the second one because it was in front of the directors. I go to take a walk because that's my off day after the interview. I want to walk, I want to feel good because I know that I just did good. Just to get a phone call a little later saying we went with another candidate. I couldn't spaz out. I couldn't say why. I thought I did so good. I couldn't do all that on the phone. I just simply accepted the rejection, listened to what he said, and continued to go on about my life. But I was hurt. I was torn. I felt used. I felt rejected, of course. I felt like I was no good. Nobody wanted me. Nobody cared. All that good conversation was all for what? You didn't choose me. But as I took time, and I'm still trying to process, things are becoming more clear now. Little by little, I vented to my husband about it. You know, he's there to lift me up. Still feel sad. As a human, I still feel sad. It's not enough. My daddy called me spontaneously. I answered yesterday on my way home from work. Vented to him about it because I still needed some feeling. I needed to feel something. And he said some powerful stuff to me. He told me he went through almost a similar situation, long story short, where he told his managers he wasn't going to train anybody because he wanted to be an associate manager one time, and that person said, well, why don't you want to train me? And he asked them, give me a good reason why I should train you. And the guy said, because you might need me one day. And all of this, he ended up quitting that job, and he ended up going to another job, and guess who was that man? The general manager. The guy who he was training, but at first he didn't want to train. So that was sort of the position that I was going to take on the very first time I applied through an internal job at my job, was for a training officer. I didn't get it. I felt knocked down to my knees then, but of course I got back up and realized, hey, my time would come. I applied for this different position a year later, blew the interviews out of the park, didn't get it. I felt destroyed. But I still showed up to work that very next day after receiving that phone call. And believe you me, it takes a strong person to go back into the environment that they were rejected from, to continue their duties, not let their emotions affect them, even though it was affecting me yesterday. I wanted to go home early so bad, but I stuck things out and it didn't get great, but it got better a little as my day went on. But I'm still sad. And I kind of lost my train of thought just then, but more of my story. They want me to be a training officer first before I can go to these other important administrative duties. And today, the person who set up the interview, she came by my desk and she said, "Congratulations." And I looked, I'm like, is she being funny? Because congratulations to what? It's clear I didn't get the job. She said, "I heard congratulations." She said it again. "I heard you did really well on the interviews." I looked, I said, "Thank you." Because she really meant it. I can tell, you can just tell when someone's phony and when someone's real. She really meant what she was saying. I said, "Thank you." She said, "I heard you did really, really well." I said, "Thank you." And then I thought about it a little bit after she left. I said, let me go in her office and tell her I really appreciated that because I needed that. I'm feeling destroyed on the inside. Torn, used, sad. I said, "Thank you. I really needed that because I felt like my spark was gone. You helped relight my spark just then when you said that." She said, I said, "You think I did good?" She said, "I know you did good. It was just that other person had longevity over you and they had training knowledge over you. That was it. And sometimes that's all. That don't mean something good isn't in store for me. And I'm spreading this message with you today to let you know, don't give up. We all get denied. We all get delayed. We all get rejected. You're not the only one. I'm not the only one. But it's all for its reason. God has something in store for each and every one of us. We just have to believe it. Don't give up. I can't tell you don't be sad because we're all going to experience sadness in our life. That's normal. We're humans. But don't give up. Keep going. Try to look at things from a different perspective. And live on.